Hi, this is Avi Harkishan. This is my analysis on Sofi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. Today's date is August 28, 2025. This is what I'm looking at on Sofi. So here is the weekly chart on Sofi. Uh, you've had a lot of volume. I'm going to look at the volume first of all, right? Which validate the upside we've been having. Here let me look at this. So on the weekly chart, the indicators are still bullish in Sofi, just to make that very clear. On a Elliott wave perspective on Sofi, you had a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 wave to the upside. You have ABC, wave 1, ABC, wave 2 pullback. Then if you go to the daily chart, you could see this here more clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave to wave 3. Then over here you can see an ABC to the downside, pretty much. A, B, C to the downside, which is the fourth wave, and now the fifth wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a 5 wave move to the upside. There are alternative wave count that you could use for Sofi. But the one thing I want to caution you of, if you're going long on Sofi, you are trading in a major supply zone. You can break out of this supply zone and continue to move up. But in terms of looking at this on a risk to reward basis, there should be no reason as a professional trader why you should want to take a long position in Sofi at a major supply zone that you're looking at over here. It doesn't make any sense, especially when you have a 5 wave move to the upside, a 5 wave count to the upside. That doesn't make any sense to me. Um, Now, I would want to see some sort of pullback, some sort of reaction. Obviously, this here could blast to the upside, and great. If you did not take a long position, you've lost some money. But look on the downside. If you would have taken a long position here and you have a sell-off like you did over here, and there's a major pullback to this entire structure, then you could see a major pullback all the way down towards this $10 level potentially. Or even if you don't see it here and you're just looking at the fifth wave, you can see a pullback towards that 618 level, which is at $13, 13.24. You can see towards this area here. Let me just change this. I'm going to put 100 over there on the volume profile towards this volume profile area over here, which is the zero point 0.5 and 618 area. Now, those are the alternative. What I'm cautious of in terms of the volume price analysis, if we're going to look at Sofi on a volume price analysis, the first time we see major volume with rejection was over here. That was the first time sellers stepped in, and you got kind of like a dragonfly um, candlestick forming with a major um, volume over here. Which major volume over here? Where you see that all the volume was over here, and you saw some sell off. You saw some upside, but then you saw some sell off happen. Now the volume is still looking decent. Buyers are still stepping in every week, and they're pushing the price up. So the price can continue to move to the upside. Um, but now I'm looking here again. You have this huge rejection over here. Then you have buyers stepping in here again, and the price is moving up. You don't see this on the weekly chart, but the volume is decreasing as well as the price is moving up. The buying volume is pretty decent, so you can see a move up. Sellers are trying to attempt to push the price down here again, and you could continue to move to the upside. And if you're looking at this in terms of a wave count again, you can see if you move to the 4 hours, on the 4 hours, if we to do a wave count, you can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 wave to the upside here again on this wave count over here. So the fifth wave has a 5 wave count also. 4 hours is looking like you want some upside again. Now, if you're holding this level of 2146, you can see more upside on Sofi. But I am very cautious of Sofi because of this major area here, which goes all the way to 28, 26. That's what I'm cautious of. Let me take a look at the other side of the chart. Let me look here again. We're going to look at this chart here. Almost the same thing. Let's move down to the daily. If you're holding this 2118, fine, it's a high volume node. But if you start breaking below this 2118 area over here, or this 2144, somewhere around this area, 2180 and 2050 something, you have a huge volume pocket that you could start dropping all the way down to 16 onto the 12 something, this $13 area that I talked to you about. I just told you about earlier. So you do have a lot of downside where you can pull back if Sofi decide to pull back. Sofi actually reminds me of this stock. What's the name of it again? Oh, okay. I think it's Hood. Let's take a look at Hood. Okay, here's Hood. And Sofi kind of reminds me of Hood, where it has the accumulation. You saw the upside. And then you got to the top, right over here. You got to the top, right over here, which we are right now with Sofi. And then you had that pullback before you had that rip to the upside. So what I'm pretty much looking at is I would rather wait and see if we're going to get that pullback. And from the bottom here, this leg, we had a pullback of about, yeah, a 618 pullback. So I would want to see some sort of pullback on Sofi if I'm going to go long on Sofi. Here was that pullback, and you had that leg up. Now you're here. I would at least want to see some sort of pullback on Sofi, even if we take it from here. That 618 is around 1549. Or you come all the way back down to 7 something, but I don't think you will. I would at least want to see a retest somewhere within this smart money area over here. Yeah, I mean, that's my take on Sofi. I mean, we could always move to the upside. And if we're looking at the fib extension of if we continue to push to the upside, what that could be like, you just start from here. And you can continue to push. See, right now, you're reaching resistance level right here at 2882. And where is that resistance level? That's a 0.618 fib extension. That's right over here. Right at this level here. Obviously, you can continue to push the upside. But in terms of risk to reward, not a trade I would want to take to the long side. That's all I'm saying for now. Obviously, every trade that you take, that is up to you, but that's what I'm looking at. Hopefully that was helpful. All right, later.